Hello runners and welcome to another episode of IRUN4ULTRA's podcast. And today we have another inspiring athlete for you, Pau Capell. Pau is an amazing athlete with an excellent track record, and especially for someone who just came onto the scene in 2013. Pau has competed and placed in amazingly difficult races like the Madiera Island Ultra Trail, UTMB, the Skyrunner series, and most recently he won the TransGranCanaria third consecutive year in a row. We are going to talk to Pau about his latest win, of course, his philosophies in life, how his running philosophies, training philosophies, gear he likes to use, and so much more. So let's start our powwow with Pau. Hi Pau, how are you?
Hello, fine, thank you.
Well, first of all, we have to start by saying congratulations on your third TransGranCanaria win, third in a row. How are you feeling?
It was fantastic.
Yeah?
It was my third victory in TransGranCanaria. It was amazing. I couldn't imagine when I finished because the race it was hard. I did a start with Hayden Hawks and it was too hard for me because the speed of Hayden is too high. But then finally I could win the race and it was wow, really good feelings.
Of course, and I actually wanted to talk to you a little more detail in that because eventually when you won, it wasn't even a close race. I mean, you left Hayden far behind. But what was the race like for you this year? What was the experience like? Do you feel like you were well trained for it and very prepared for it?
Yeah, I think that we did a good precision. So on January and start of February, we did a big volume of trainings. So I think that I arrived to the race with good performance. So when I was running, I was feeling really good, and also in the kilometers, I don't know, 90 kilometers after the start of the race, I was feeling good, and I could push more on the uphill. So it was a really good performance for run the TransGranCanaria.
And so, if you were to compare it with the other 3 years, how was it different, or was than the other 2 years?
The difference it was that the last years I was running all the time with some people, so it was maybe harder than this year. But yeah, this year I could run a lot of times alone because on the kilometer 45, Hayden was behind me, so I decided to push a little bit more. So I started my own race at kilometer 45 to the finish. So for me, it was not easy, but it was better this year than the other years.
And you sure left the pack behind you and you just shot straight ahead and crossed the finish line. What was going through your head when you crossed the finish line?
I was thinking on the trainings that I have done because we train a lot of hours. So when you take your goal, is amazing because you think, wow, I did it, and I thought that it was impossible, and finally, this is a reality.
Yes, it is a reality. So that was going to be my next question. Did you go into it keeping the win in mind, or were you going to be okay with whatever outcome?
Uh, Before the race, I was thinking to enjoy because I was a little bit scared for the race because I knew the track, I knew ever uphill, ever downhill. So this is harder because your mind is thinking, wow, now I'm going to run this distance, I'm going up, I'm going down. So this is harder. But then I wanted to close the hand and take the victory, and finally it was possible.
And you sure did, and you did it with style. And like I said, you were way ahead of the pack. And your time this year was just seconds behind your time from your previous record, which is also the record for the race. How did that feel? Or is that a future goal of yours to beat your own record, be even faster?
Yeah, but in this year the TransGranCanaria had 4 kilometers more,
Mm.
so that's why maybe I did I think 15 or 20 minutes more this year.
Mhm.
But if we compare with the last track and the track of this year, is maybe the same.
Same.
When I was running with Hayden, we were 10 and 15 minutes less than the last year in every checkpoint. and the new track, it was in the last part of the race. So
So you
if we
definitely
compare,
ran faster.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
If we compare the first part that I did with Hayden, we were faster.
And so, you grew up in the region. How much do you think that had to do with, you doing so well in these races in the region?
Yeah, I think that for me it's important that when you are going to run, you need to like the race.
Yes.
So normally when I search my calendar or when I do the calendar, first of all I do the races that I like it, because if not, then I run bad. So I need to love the places. So TransGranCanaria is one of the best places for me. So I love the island. So that's why I can run good. If not, I can't.
Of course, and of course, it's home base for you in many ways too. And that's what I want to know more about now. What was it like? What was your childhood like, Pau? We want to know what was little Pau doing. If we rewind, go back in time, get into a time travel machine, and go back, what would we find you doing?
Uh, I think that I'm a privileged person because I can do the things that I love. So when you do the things that you love, your passion, the effort of travels, a lot of hours doing trainings is not enough. So for me, it's perfect. Travel, meet people, and that's perfect for me because this is my life, and I choose this way. So I studied when I was young. I'm engineering.
Yes,
So
industrial
I
engineer, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
I studied, but then I decided to choose my way that it was in this sport. So for me, it's not a crime. It's perfect.
It is perfect. And you also played soccer early on, right? That and of
Yeah.
course that's huge in Spain. So do you come from an athletic family in your household? Were other people athletic?
Yeah, in my family always we have practiced a lot of sports. So when I was young, I played tennis and paddle, and then I played soccer. And when I was 20 years, I had a injured.
Injury.
So the doctor recommended me to run. So I started run at 20 years, but it was amazing the feeling that I feel when I was running. So I started run and to today. But yeah, in my home, always we have practice sport.
Yes. So you practice a lot, and there's a lot of running even in soccer and tennis. It's just in
Yeah,
tennis even
yeah.
shorter space, but there's, oh my God, soccer has a lot of running as well. So, but different type. But you talked about your injury, and I want to talk a little more about that because injury in sports is so common, and it's usually a very dark time of a athlete's life. When you got injured, what was your state of mind at that time, and to be able to redirect it and start running, like what was your process?
It was really hard because I'm really nervous. So always I need to do something because I can't be here, sit in the seat. So it's impossible for me normally. So when I was injured, it was really hard for me for the mind because I wanted to walk, I wanted to do a sport, and I couldn't because my leg was with the operation, with chirurgic operation, no. So after that, after 5 months, so I broke my ligaments and the menisc. So I needed to recover 5 months. And when I finished this process, I wanted to walk only. For me, it was not important play soccer again, play tennis. I wanted to walk, to move my legs. So that's why I started to run with a lot of good feelings. So it was necessary for me to run, and then it was a therapy to run.
Yes.
So when I was running, it was meant for me mentally. It was open your mind and enjoy. So that's why I started to run after this process.
And of course, like you said, you found another love, another passion of your life.
Yeah.
And at that point, like when you discovered running, how did your soccer and tennis and all these other sports that you had done in the past, did they help you in any way in your running career, or did you have to leave all of that behind?
I maybe that these sports help me to know how we need to effort to do something. So for me, it was important this, but the other things of trainings and this, I think that is really different in sports. So no, this sport didn't help me about it, but they did help me of the mind and of the effort that we need to do to to do a sport and other things.
And once you made this shift and you found something even that you loved even more, so it's a very big shift in the changing the direction of your life. That must have been a huge teaching moment for you. It must have been a very big time of your life. Talk to us about how did your philosophy of life shift?
For me, it's the philosophy of life is fight for your dreams
Yes.
and love your things.
Yes.
So when I recovered after the injured, I wrote this phrase on my bedroom, and I put fight for your dreams, but love what you have, love your family, because they will be the people that will come with you in ever sport, in ever ultra trail, and that's my philosophy. Every morning when I wake up, I say, wow, you are really lucky because you are going to run or you are going to train, and this is your life, and you choose this, so enjoy it. Because tomorrow we will not know what will happen, and today we can choose. So it's better take your time, and this is my philosophy.
That's really a very beautiful and profound philosophy to have, and it applies itself to everything, obviously, not just in everyday living, but also in sport. And like you said, it's not just that you won the race, but you also enjoyed the race. So obviously you apply this in your ultra career as well. Talk to us about that.
Yeah. I apply this because in every race that I do, my family is coming with me. So when the people ask me, Pau, what is better, training or the diet? Or I say, no, this is not the best thing. The best thing is this, my family, because they will be never checkpoint. They will help me when I will be tired. I call them when I'm tired. So when I'm running, after I don't know 10 hours, I need to call my girlfriend and say, Marta, I'm really tired. I need to talk with you about the life, about you, and this is for me. This is power. And if I can't call them, I'm sure that in a lot of times I stop.
So in addition to food and training, you also need your loved ones and your support system, right? They energize you.
Yeah, the training is really important because if you don't train, you will not finish. And the diet is really important because if you eat bad, you will not finish because your stomach will explode. But then the family, if you don't have the family or you don't have your sentimental feeling, you will not finish. Sure.
Yes. And so obviously, you have your family, your friends, your girlfriend, they're supporting you, and they give you so much power and energy to go forward. And the interesting thing about ultras is that even the community is very supportive, and they are there for you, and even the athletes that you're competing against, they are there for you and support you. So talk to us about the ultra community, and how do they what role do they play in your life?
Uh, the community is also is one of the best important things because you can share your passion with other people. So this is the same feeling that I feel when, for me, it's a family because when I have a family, my family, I can share with them my passion, my future goals, my calendar, my travels. But then I explain the the life that I live with ultra community. So uh, today, the social media, the mobile phone, for example, is really important for us because for us, we can share at the moment with you, for example, with people that is living in Argentina, in Tokyo, and this connection is incredible. It's magic because you can share with them your passion, and they can share with you the questions, and this connection is, for me, is one of the best things of ultra trail.
Yes, and you're right. In today's day and age, thanks to technology, we can you can be connected to people all over the world at any given point of time and get so much knowledge from that too. And so, actually, I was going to ask you that question later, but I would love to know right now, what are some of, when it comes to apps and technology, what do you use to support your running career?
Uh, I'm not I'm not using a lot of apps, but one of the apps is Strava, for example,
Of course.
because I can look other trainings of competitors. So this is a good advantage, and also I can share my trainings, and then I can share the comms with people. And this for training, if you use it with good way, so is a good improve because you can you can do a little bit more in every training because you know that this part is a com and you can run faster. So and then you can share your trainings with the people. So when I go to, for example, to Tokyo, when I went to Tokyo, I was looking on the Strava some trails that the people was doing. So it was really good for me because I could training there in the best zones of Tokyo, for example.
Yeah, it's amazing, and obviously you have an analytical mind, and also obviously a very competitive nature. Were you always this competitive?
Sorry.
Were you always this competitive?
Yeah, I think that I'm really competitive. Yeah.
Always. that's
Wait.
that's obviously that's that's a part of your personality, and that's why you perform so well and from the get go. So you have the ability, and also the training and the mental focus to keep with it, and that's why you perform so well. Um, Having said that, obviously, in the time that you have been running, you must have learned a lot, of new things, because people learn with more time and experience. And you talked a lot in your initial running career about gaining as much experience as you can, because you learn so much from it and you also train from it. So talk to us about that. How has your training changed over or evolved over time?
How is my training?
Yes, like has it how, because I'm sure you're an intellectual analytical person who sees results. You see what happens in results. So from the beginning to now, what changes have you seen and what all have you added? Yeah.
When I started train, I did a lot of mistakes because I didn't know how to train. Uh, I did a big mistake that it was always run every day 25, 30 kilometers.
Oh,
So
wow.
what happened that after 3 months, my body exploded
Oh, wow.
because it was crazy every day running, and I didn't do training on the gym. I didn't do force for the legs, not cross trainings, nothing, only running. So today I have changed a lot the training. Every year I learn, and today I'm doing training of maybe in the morning I train 3 hours, maybe more or less, is my long training, running, and then on the afternoon I do a cross training, and this cross training is I go to the gym and I do T-Rex, core, I do spinning, elliptic, or one training running, but specific training like series, fartlek is a more specific training. On the
Yes.
afternoon, in the morning, I do a big training of running to take the volume of the week.
That's really important information to have. How it's important to not just go and, like you said, run 25 miles every 25
Uh,
kilometers every day. It's important to mix it up and do cross training. And when it comes to nutrition, what have you learned along the way?
Also, it's the same. For me, I always say that the things that I don't control, I prefer to ask help. So in this case, in nutrition, I have one nutritionist with me. So well, she helped me a lot of the nutrition. So I follow a diet during the week. So every day I eat the breakfast, the lunch, dinner, and after training a recovery. and it's really controlled diet. I don't like to eat bad. I eat good salads, vegetables. I think it's really important. And then for the race, we do a planning. So what happened in TransGranCanaria, for example, we control every kilometer. So every 20 minutes you need to drink this, or every 30 minutes you need to eat this product. And the assistants, the same that I told you, my assistants is my family, so they help me a lot with the diet. So in every checkpoint, they are prepared. They prepare the food, they prepare the drink, and I arrive and I have all prepared. It's like a buffet. You can choose, you can eat what you want, but what you need in this moment.
And you eat good, and there's no stomach exploding.
Exactly. This is the mistake is if you eat bad, you will have problems.
Yes, but of course. And obviously, you have gathered all this information over time, and you've taken help when you need help. Now, with all the information that you have created a company called Privy Life, where you you use your expertise and help other people improve their performance. Talk to us about your company a little bit.
Yeah, I decided to create this company 2 years ago with two colleagues to help the people to train better. We do a training camps, and then the people come and we do a technique with poles. We run, we explain the experience, the nutrition, and also we organize team buildings for companies. But these team buildings are not like party alcohol. No, these buildings are different. It's more like sports, a gincana, and a healthy night, and we try to move the society in a healthy culture.
Healthy culture. And so obviously, people who come and who are your clients are not just big athletes. It's like you said, it's anybody who wants to improve their performance can come, right?
Yeah. And also, we do a training. So I'm a coach in a trail running because I studied for that also. So the people that want to repeat normally wants to stay with us training every week here in Barcelona. So we do a planning of trainings also. So it's a lot of, we do a lot of things, but all in relation in
sports and healthy.
Yeah,
yes.
Sure.
So what's your favorite thing about coaching?
My favorite thing about coaching?
Yes.
The best thing is I'm coaching people in South America, in America, in China, in Barcelona. Some of these people I can train with them, personal training, and other people, because they are in South America, for example, in online training. But the best thing is not the result of these people. The best thing is when the people is sad, is tired, and I can help them, and they are improving, and the day after they say, Pau, I'm better, I'm happy, I did this training. I say, wow, this is my goal. It was this.
That's amazing.
This is yeah. And sometimes when I wake up and I receive some WhatsApps on my mobile, and I receive this kind of WhatsApps, I wake up with other feeling. Sure.
It must make you feel great. So where do you see, say 10 years down the line, where would you like to see Privy Life? What do you see in the future for your company?
Maybe stay in the same balance that like today, because I can train, I can travel, I can do a competitions, and also I can share my life of competitions with Privy Life. So this balance, I think that is really important for me, for my feelings. So if I can sing a contract, for the contract, it should say it's the same way like today. So this is the best.
That's wonderful. And you talked about balance of like work life and your personal life. How do you make that balance happen? Because it doesn't just happen. It's a big effort, just like your training and everything. So talk to us about that, the effort that requires, and the sacrifices that you have to make.
For me, it's really easy, because I have a lot of things, but because I want to do trainings, I want to train for me, I want to travel, I want to visit South America, I want to do a lot of things. But then I say the same always. The best important is my family. So if in my family, my girlfriend, my parents, my brothers, the life of them are in balance, my life is really good. The problem could be that one of these people, the life of them or the life of one of them, is going down. So the problem, it was that for me it was, wow, my family is not good, so my level of trainings competition will be going down for sure. But at this moment, everybody in my family is good. No cancer, no problems. The health is on the way, so this is the best. And then I can control the other things because it's my responsibility. But then for me, the family is my balance is the family.
And so, like you said, it's so important for you to have that balance for you to be able to perform at your best. So if there's somebody out there, because you hear people say this all the time, oh my god, I have no time for this, oh my god, I'm too busy for that. So what do you have to say to them? What advice would you give them?
I think that this is an excuse because it's not possible. As the day have 24 hours, so if you think that you need to sleep 8 hours, you lost 2 hours for eat and drink. It's 10 hours. You have 12 hours, and then you work 8 hours. You have 4 hours for you. So you always you can choose your way. And if you want to do something, it's the same that my phrase is: fight for your dreams. If
And
you want
love
to
what
do
you
it,
have.
exactly. If you want to do it, you can do it. But then, if you want to take excuses, you can take it. But this is not real.
I like your advice. Your advice is stop making excuses.
Exactly.
So, so moving on from that, Pau, what are some of the favorite races that you have participated in your career so far? I mean,
Transform
TransGranCanaria, of course.
one of them. But then I enjoyed a lot in Ultra Trail Mount Fuji
Mount Fuji,
last
yes.
year. It was an incredible experience. I ran with Dylan Bowman from USA, and it was incredible because the people there have a different culture,
Yes.
really different, and the race is different. The checkpoints are different. The marks of the trail are different. So I was running like, wow, this is not normal. This is not normal.
Give us an
And
example of one of the things that was like what was different about it.
in the checkpoint, for example, when I was running, I was arriving to the checkpoint. It was people around me filming, but around me is like here, like 10 centimeters around me, and I need to run fast, please, space, because I need to take my bottles, the food, and the people, it was filming a lot. And was, wow, this is crazy. This is not the culture like Europe, for example.
Yes.
If you run in UTMB, the people is more with respect. They give you
Space.
medals.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah, they know that you need to take space to take the things, and it was a different culture. And then other race is it was in Australia also, Ultra Trail Australia. It was a good experience for me, for the travel, for the trail also. So two of the best experience.
You talked about your favorite races that you've run. Now, talk to me about some of the most challenging races that you've had, some of the
Uh,
most difficult races, or no
uh,
difficult races.
yeah, always. Every race is difficult, but one of the most difficult that I have run is in Livigno. I ran in a sky race in Livigno, a race that is organized for Ultra Trail Runner. So the trail, it was a really technical trail, and for me it was difficult because I needed to take ropes to go down, and normally in ultra trails we don't use it. So sometimes I was scared, and I didn't do a good job there because maybe for the scare for the moment of the race I couldn't run good, so it was the most challenging ultra experience for sure.
Wow. And so when you have challenges in a race, like you said, every race is a difficult race. What are the biggest challenges that you find? Do you find the physical challenges tougher, or do you find the mental challenges tougher? And once you meet those challenges, what is your process to get over them?
Yeah, the physical challenge I can um, plus this because if we train, finally we will have legs. So if you don't have legs, you will not finish. This is easy. And then I think that the most challenge is the mental challenge because is when you think that you can't. So when your mind say, "Pau, you can't run," it's really difficult. Plus this moment, and yeah, I work a lot during my training. Like tomorrow, for example, I'm going to train, and I'm going to work this with some, I don't know, some specific techniques like don't drink, don't eat, for example, and your body is running without food
Yeah.
in a training, and then in a race will be the same in some times because you are with bad feelings. So your mind is saying, okay, in the training you did it, so now it's not a problem. So you need to before the race you need to do some I don't know in English, but some challenging in your training to know what will happen in a race.
Got
And
it.
then one thing, and this is a secret, but now it's not a secret because I'm telling you. My family, I was telling you that is very important, but my girlfriend is an incredible mental, I don't know, mentor, for example, in English.
Yes.
Because in a race, for example, in UTMB, she inside in my iPod some voice of my family.
Oh,
So
wow.
I run normally with music. I was running with music, and 7 hours after, I was listening. I don't know music, and my father started to talk. And Pau, you are not alone. I'm with you. I'm at home, but I'm following you. And I say, wow, she's telling me now in Courmayeur, and after in Bonatti, my girlfriend, my sponsor, my friends, and I did the UTMB 20 hours with people uh, telling me phrases, telling me feelings, and it's like now
I got goosebumps too.
it, it was an incredible mental challenge. And Marta is. I told Marta, how you thought to do it this because it was amazing for me. When I was tired, I was thinking, you can't stop. Your father is telling you, come on, you can do it. So it was wow, amazing.
That's an amazing story. Thank you for sharing your secret with us, Pau. That really is such a beautiful story, and to know that your family, yeah, plays such an important part in your life and your career. It's a beautiful thing to hear for sure. And so, I mean, I was going to ask you. Asking you what your favorite
Yeah.
music is. This is a beautiful story for sure. And when it comes to running, what is your favorite terrain to run on? How do you like mountains, beaches? What's your favorite?
Yeah, I live close Barcelona, so I live 20 meters up the sea, so I'm not living in a high mountains. I prefer the terrain of TransGranCanaria that is a runnable terrain, but in some parts is hard. I need to walk with poles, and then I can run. I need to walk, run, and this is my best terrain. I don't like the ropes. I don't like the hard ultra trails with difficult downhills, technical downhills. I don't like it, but at the same time, I don't like the race that is really flat, really runnable. Like Western States, for example, is a runnable race, I think.
Yes.
So I have never run the race, but I was looking on videos on this, and maybe I don't know if this race can be the best for me. But for example, Hard Rock race could be a good race, more similar like in Europe. So these kind of races.
Do you ever see yourself doing something like in the desert, like Marathon des Sables or
Not yet, but
No.
I don't know in the
Maybe
future.
someday.
I would like because it will be a good opportunity with the community that we
Yes.
were talking before.
Yes.
So I think that it can be a good experience.
It's a huge
It's a huge.
experience. It's a learning
Yeah.
experience, definitely. And so, we have talked about where you like running. Now, let's talk a little bit about gear. What kind of gear do you like wearing? Like,
I
what is your must-haves for running?
I use the North Face clothes
Of course.
because I like it. Before I was at trail running of the North Face, I was using the brand, so it was perfect. And yeah, I like to be light, not with a lot of clothes. I like to be light, and yeah, the shoe for me is the best important thing because if we run a lot of hours, we need to run with good fits. So I prefer to use a big shoe, not light shoe. Maybe I use the Ultra Endurance that is more weight, but for me it's really important that it's comfortable to run. So this is the most important thing, and then a good backpack to run with good position, not bad with bad positions. I prefer to run with my I don't know with the
Upright
body
chest.
up.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So this is also an important part.
So having proper, so gear that supports your proper running form and not too heavy.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're talking about gear. You very early on in your running career started getting sponsorships,
Yeah.
from companies. How does sponsorship change the game up? Because otherwise, running is not an easy sport to take on. It's not even like especially ultra trail running. It's not a cheap sport to be involved in. So how does sponsorship change your life, and how did you feel when you first started getting those sponsorships?
I think that is for me it's necessary have these sponsorships because if I wouldn't have it, I couldn't do trail running because I'm living with this sport. Luckily, or I don't know in English, but with my sponsors. So if I don't have sponsors, I can't run. I need to work like engineer. So for me, it's really important. I started with two sponsors. I was working in a company and running, but then when I was improving and winning some races here in Spain, the sponsors were started to come, and then I could change my way to this sport. So for me today is my food is the sponsor.
So name your sponsors today. Who all sponsor you?
I have the international sponsor is the North Face.
Yes.
It's my main sponsor, and then I have a really good sponsors in Spain. That is also the year that you told is Armax is a one belt, Led Lenser. That is the I don't know in English, the headlamp.
Yes.
Then the food, for example, companies here with the food. I don't know a lot of the Mercedes. I Asunto. I have maybe I think that I have 12 sponsors that are published on my website. So for me, I'm really lucky with this.
Oh, you're not just lucky, you're talented and hardworking. Yes. And so, Pau, talk to us about your future plans. First of all, immediate future. What does 2019 look like for you? What can we expect from you?
The next April, I will go to South America to run the Patagonia 100 miles. And end of April, I run in Mexico, 85 kilometers. So I will be 1 month in South America, traveling there and training. And then I will come back home to run in Salzburg. I will run the Mozart 100. I will run in Menorca 87, in Grossglockner 87, in Tenerife Marathon. I have some races to prepare the UTMB because now my main goal is UTMB, and I would like to do a good job there. I know that a lot of people in USA is coming and they want to win the race because they have never won the race, so they want to do it, but I will be there to try not. I will try to push my best in the race, but yeah, I think that I have now 7 races before the UTMB. Some of these are ultra trail, and some of these are shorter, like marathon or 70 kilometers.
And who are some of the ultra, elite runners or just runners that you look up to, that you admire?
Oof, I admire a lot Kilian Jornet, for example.
Of course.
But you know that if you want to compare with Kilian, you will lost for sure, because Kilian is in other planets, so I can't compare with them, with him. But then, yeah, when I started run, for me, Sebastian Signon, it was my mentor. I want to try to be Sebastian Signon, because it's not only for the run; it's more for the person of Sebastian. He is really person. Is yeah. When you are talking with him, he is open with you, so you can learn a lot, and he wants to to run with you, to share with you, and this is really important for me. And yeah, when I started run, Sebastian Signon, it was one of my best runners that I wanted to run with him.
Well, that's amazing. And, and Pau, I can totally see you beating Killian someday. Anything is possible. And it was wonderful chatting with you today. Before we leave you, any final thoughts? What final thoughts do you have to say to, people, someone who's listening to you right now? And your final words of wisdom.
My final words could be: if you want to run 5 kilometers, enjoy with these 5 kilometers. If you want to run 10 kilometers, enjoy with this 10. And if you want to run an ultra trail, enjoy it. But it's not important the distance. The most important thing is the way to arrive to the finish line. If you are feeling good, if you are enjoying, this is the important thing, because tomorrow we will not know what will happen. So we need to know that today is the day and we need to enjoy. So choose your way, choose the distance, and then enjoy.
It's important to enjoy the journey as well, not just the distance, not just a destination. Yes. Well, thank you so much, Pau, for giving us, your time. You've just won a big race this Monday, and you've given us this time, so we are very lucky to have you, and we wish you the very best for the rest of the year. We'll be keeping track of you, and hope to speak to you again after your multiple other wins.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Take care.
Ciao.
Wow, guys, what an inspiring athlete. If you like this interview, we have so much more for you. We have more interviews with amazing athletes, award-winning documentaries, and tons of video content, all relating to running. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and also find us on Instagram, Facebook, and every social media platform. We are there. So see you there. Bye.